in one of the DOJ's highest profile domestic terrorism cases, a federal jury appears to have found that the FBI entrapped people in a matter involved in an alleged plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan. The jury acquitted 2 defendants and hung on 2 others. You're familiar with that case, sir?
Yes, sir, I am familiar with that particular prosecution.
The FBI appears to have contrived the plot, used its informants to draw people into the plot, and provided logistical and financial support to what was in effect an FBI operation. And the board behind me details just some of the resources that were devoted to the op. The alleged Whitmer plot was announced October 7, 2020, within a month before the U.S. presidential election. How come that timing for the FBI's announcement of this plot?
That's an ongoing case. I'm not going to comment on it. I can tell you that in every case, we follow the facts and the evidence and the law, and we do so without regard to politics or ideology.
Sure they do. Joining me now, the great congressman from the great state of North Carolina, Dan Bishop. Congressman, we obviously could only play a little bit of that long exchange. Did you ever get an answer? And I ask because every time I see one of the few decent people we have in Congress actually asking these tough questions, all I hear from FBI people and their assistant attorney general is no comment, can't comment on an ongoing investigation, no comment. Do these people ever have to actually answer questions?
You know, I'm waiting to find out myself, Jesse. I've been there 3 years and in the minority the whole time. I intend to get answers if we've got gavels and subpoena power. And I think with Jim Jordan chairing that committee, we're likely to get answers. But no, it's an amazing experience. You sit there on that big dais, you got a bunch of people, you get 5 minutes to explain the issue and grill them, and every one of his answers was a non-answer. It tells you a lot, but that's all we get right now, and boy, I'm ready to get more.
What can we do? I know we can't do anything right now. I'm not naive. We're in the minority, don't have the presidency, don't have the House, don't have the Senate. Let's say in a perfect world, we get the House and Senate back and the presidency by 2025. What can we do? What can be done? Surely Congress and the presidency have the power to do something significant more than just hearings. I'm not dismissing them. It's important to have this information public, but hearings clearly aren't enough. They're just going to no comment their way right back to the FBI.
Well, you're absolutely right. People out there in the country are greatly frustrated. I see it in comments that come our way. Do something about it. Most people understand we don't have the power now. Congress has the power of the purse. So again, now, Jesse, what it depends on is leadership and Republicans across the conference supporting us when we say that FISA has to be reformed, that the money, the appropriations for the Department of Justice need to be held up until they answer our questions. And ultimately, there are bigger reforms. I'm fond of the idea that DOJ needs to be broken up and split and sent across the country. I think the FBI ought to be agents attached to U.S. attorneys' offices in districts around the country. I don't think we ought to have a Washington field office where all these mysteries seem to come to roost. And then finally, we've got to have the White House. And when there's a White House in Republican control, the president and his appointees need to be bold enough not to be overawed by the Justice Department. It is a government agency. It needs to function neutrally and fairly, and changes need to be made to make sure that the permanent Washington is brought to heel and serves the people rather than commanding them.